Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. I'm Olivia and I'm going to be hosting this webinar. And in this session, we'll be talking about ways to handle homeowner inaction. So just for a little housekeeping, and I'll repeat this at the end, we are recording this webinar and the recording will be sent to you via email afterwards. So don't worry if you miss anything or you come in a little bit later. And if you have any questions, just submit them through the chat or questions box that you'll see on the right-hand side of your screen. And I'm going to stay online at the end to address those questions. Great, so you should be able to see the title slide on your screen and we can get started. So if you are attending this webinar, you might already have a Houzz profile and know a lot about Houzz already. But if there is anyone new here, this is just a little bit of information about our site. So Houzz is the leading platform for home renovation and design. It provides everything that homeowners need to improve their homes from start to finish, online or from a mobile device. It's a really vibrant community and it's the easiest way for renovators and homeowners to find the right professional that they need and to just find really great design inspiration or project advice, products, and help turn their design ideas into a reality. So it was founded by husband and wife team Adi and Alon in 2009, who were in the midst of a renovation for their own home, and during which they just really struggled to find all the inspiration, information, and professionals that they needed. So they did yearn for a one-stop shop, like one place where they could find and store all of their ideas and information. So from there, Houzz was born, and it's since grown to have 5 distinct layers that are tied together by really smart technology that makes Houzz such an end-to-end solution. So the 5 layers create a really integrated experience for consumers and for professionals. So we now have over 40 million monthly users globally, 2.4 million active home professionals in our directory, and over 19 million images to browse. And our app was awarded Best App in the Google Play Awards in 2016. So today we have more than 500,000 reviews, the 5-star average. Cool. So spectrum of inaction. How did this topic come about? So we do often hear from our pros that homeowner inaction can be confusing and really frustrating. On one end of the spectrum, a homeowner may have called and left a message or submitted a contact form indicating their interest in a project, and despite your attempt to connect with the homeowner, they are unavailable or they don't respond. And on the other side, opposite end of the spectrum, you might have a homeowner with whom you've met and discussed a potential project. So when you've invested time into consulting with the client and providing estimate costs and collaborating with them on ideas, it is natural to wonder why you aren't hearing back from them. So in this webinar, we'll cover some of the most common reasons why homeowners might be unresponsive and how you can best manage your time and priorities whilst prospecting new clients. So just to review the agenda for today, we'll begin with some common reasons why homeowners may have fallen out of touch. Then we'll look at ways that you can develop an effective sales strategy that improves overall engagement. Following that, we'll discuss some best practices around contact strategies and follow-up methods. And then finally, we'll conclude with how to tell if a potential client is still interested or if it may be time to retire the prospect. We will even talk about ways that you can stay top of mind with those prospects even if you've retired them. So a lot of really great information to cover, and we'll get started with emails. So I can't physically see anyone on the call, but I'm pretty sure if I asked for a show of hands of those who feel inundated with both work and personal emails, the majority of you would have your hand up. So studies do show that people spend on average nearly 1/3 of their day answering emails. So assuming you've got a 9-hour workday, we're spending at least 3 of those hours in our email inbox. In addition, people are deleting nearly half of their emails every day. So the average person receives 147 emails a day, and they're likely to delete 71 of them. So why is this? Well, based on the same report, writing an email takes 72 seconds, but deleting only takes 3. So when your homeowner is struggling to prioritize their incoming messages, sometimes the reason they're unresponsive is a simple lack of time and a little procrastination. Some of you may be nodding your head now and thinking, yep, that's why I don't send emails, particularly in an industry like renovation and design. Many of our pros would agree and say prefer to connect with potential clients over the phone. But obviously, relying on the phone can also present a challenge as well. You know, technology etiquette is changing a lot. So a survey conducted by Deloitte actually found that of nearly 2,000 mobile phone users aged between 18 to 75, fewer than half use their phone for voice calls every day, and about 1 in 8 use their phone for voice calls less than once a week. In fact, according to sales strategist Jill Conrath, 97% of business calls now go to voicemail. So assuming your potential clients are at work during your hours of operation, there is a good chance that they just can't get to your call. I mean, that doesn't mean that all of your potential clients are just missing your attempts to reach them. There could also be some personally motivating reasons as well. So do consider that the homeowner may not be ready to make a decision yet. So by missing your calls, they're actually stalling the process and they don't have to commit to yes or no yet. So despite that this may seem like discouraging data, we've gathered insights from industry leaders as well as from our community of professionals to help you connect with leads and respond to new business inquiries. Also to maximise engagement from your clients during the initial sales meeting and develop a strategy to respond to your unresponsive prospects. So once you've identified where you want your business to have exposure and you begin to capture new business inquiries, you need to develop an internal process that allows you to take immediate action. So for example, you might designate someone in your office or your team to manage inbound leads and phone calls and inquiries, or maybe they are being sent directly to your email and your mobile phone if you're a sole business owner, in which case you would need to take the responsibility. So research shows the odds of calling to qualify a lead actually decrease by over 6 times within the first hour. And what's more interesting is that only 37% of companies call a lead in that hour. So in a Smart Company article, sales expert Sue Barrett said that in the case of location-based leads, if you don't follow up within the first 2 hours, the lead can sometimes go cold. In fact, quite often will go cold. So by initiating contact right away, you're not only more likely to qualify a prospect, but you're also in a better position to beat out the competition. Obviously, there's no guarantee that the homeowner will be available, even if you call right away. So if you've captured the homeowner's email address, send an email as well. If they gave you their email address, it might even indicate that they prefer email to the phone. Cool. Sorry, just had a question come up. So a lead management and sales solution company conducted a study of 3.5 million leads and found that 93% of converted leads are contacted by the 6th call attempt. More than half of all prospects that eventually converted were reached sometime after the first call, but 50% of leads were never contacted a second time. So if you're not making multiple attempts to connect with your new business inquiries, there is a good chance that you're missing out on opportunities. So Julianne Bull, who is a pro of ours for the Den Interiors, she always contacts her leads within 24 hours. So this is a call strategy that we recommend based on industry insights and our own community findings. So call 2 times within the first 24 hours of receiving a lead or inquiry. Preferably the first call needs to be within the first hour. You can call a 3rd time the following day after 24 hours have passed, make a 4th attempt on day 5, a 5th attempt on day 14, and make a final attempt on day 15. And if you do capture the homeowner's email as part of the inquiry, you can also leverage email communication as part of your overall contact strategy. So you could send an email within 20 minutes of capturing the inquiry, send a second email on day 4, a third on day 8, a fourth email on day 15, and a final email on day 22. Ideally, you should be switching between mediums to appear more available rather than just choosing to stick with either phone calls or emails only. So for example, you could make a phone call and send an email within the first hour. You can make a second call in the next 24 hours, send an email on day 4, make a third call on day 5, and so on and so forth until you retire the lead. Great. So that takes us to the point where you've connected with the homeowner, and what is next? So you need to have an effective sales process. It is critical for getting potential clients engaged and invested in your project. So every business does have a unique value proposition, and the first step of an effective sales process is to define yours. So Business Queensland offered these considerations to recognise yours. So what is it that I do that no one else does? What is unique about my business? And how can I use this to give me a competitive edge? Once you've established your unique selling point, you could use it in your sales and marketing strategy. But it's also really important to consider the customer as well, as you'll need this to tailor your approach. So what do my customers want, and what is the main reason that they already buy from me? So according to our 2017 Australian House and Home Survey, 49% of renovating homeowners said they were looking to hire a professional who had experience with their project scope. Not only is it critical to communicate your primary areas of expertise anywhere you advertise, but it's also necessary to tailor your sales conversation to your homeowner's specific needs. So the elevator pitch. So small business owners with the Forbes Business Development Council recommend the following approaches for tailoring your elevator pitch. So firstly, create a boilerplate pitch to introduce yourself. So this is a high-level generic overview of your business, expertise, and value add. So the salient points that every prospective client should be aware of are: what's your primary area of expertise and service? What are the areas that you do business? And what sets you apart from your competitors? So according to sales strategists, you should be able to cover this pitch in as little as 20 seconds, but no more than 60. So secondly, ask questions and listen. What is your homeowner trying to accomplish? How much research have they done versus how much guidance they might need? Particularly if they've already spoken with other professionals about their project, what are some of their biggest challenges or outstanding concerns? And then finally, show customers why they're better off doing business with you. So combine your knowledge and expertise with the homeowner's challenges to create a compelling reason for them to listen to you and to choose you. Show them how they can benefit from a solution that only you can provide, or a positive impact that only you can have on their project. Great, so just to recap, you've taken immediate action, you've connected with the prospect and tailored a pitch for the homeowner's specific needs. In the event that, as mentioned earlier, the homeowner still isn't ready to make a decision, there are plenty of ways that you can effectively keep them engaged during that period of uncertainty. So studies indicate that almost 80% of sales leads require at least 5 follow-ups after the initial sales meeting, but nearly 44% of salespeople give up just after the first follow-up, or they'll forget to follow up altogether. So in this next section, we'll talk about creating a cadence for following up, which involves communicating next steps, making messages compelling, and creating a sense of urgency. Then we'll talk about knowing when it's time to move on and why it's important to develop a nurture campaign. So leaders in sales and lead management stress the importance of creating a strategic approach to follow up with many prospects. Many of the pros that we work with always clearly communicate next steps in the decision-making process. So what deliverables can they expect from you and when, and what will you need from them to initiate the project? So such as a down payment or a signed contract. So sales strategists recommend voicemail messages that capture attention and increase engagement. So messages should be between 20 to 30 seconds long. You want to lead with information that's relevant to the homeowner, pose a question to encourage a response, and with a reason to get in touch and the phone number to reach you, so a call to action, and let them know you'll follow them up with an email if you have it. So for example, your voice message could be something like, "Hi James, this is Olivia from Sydney Interior Design. We've just received your inquiry regarding a Hampton style home. We've completed many projects in this style before. Were you looking for traditional Hamptons or modern Hamptons so I can start creating a proposal? You can reach me at 12345667 and I'll send an email to you now as well. Thank you." If you're using email for a follow-up strategy, Boomerang analyzed 40 million emails and measured responsiveness, based on several unique characteristics to develop the following recommendations. So keep emails between 50 to 125 words. Subject line should be between 3 to 4 words and include 1 to 3 questions in your email. So another recommendation from marketing and sales experts is also to add value at regular intervals until the prospect is ready to respond. So for example, sales strategists recommend following up on a proposal at least 3 times at intervals of approximately 7 to 10 business days, depending on the project scope and level of engagement. So email 1, send a thank you with notes about what was discussed regarding the project. If you haven't already provided an estimate, let the homeowner know when they can expect it. Email 2, follow up on an action item such as signing a contract or scheduling another conversation. Include something of value as well that's relevant to the homeowner. And email 3, create a sense of urgency with a question, and again, share something that the homeowner might find valuable. So your email may read something like this. The subject line could be free range hood with cooktop. So the body would read, "Hi Jane, you said you were incorporating a 4-burner cooktop in your kitchen. I saw that X brand is offering a promotion right now for a free range hood with the purchase of the cooktop we looked at, which would help lower your overall project costs. Let me know if you have any questions about the proposal and if you're still planning to renovate your existing kitchen, ? I'll follow up again in a few days, but you can also reach me by phone at 123456, or you can email me as well." So in about roughly 90 words with a 4-word subject line, we're following recommended best practices for both length and content. We avoided standard sales greetings and led with something that is relevant to the homeowner, added value by demonstrating that we heard their needs and understood their concerns, and we did add questions so that we're encouraging a response. So let's say your homeowner remains unresponsive despite your efforts to follow up and add value. This is common, all while being respectful of their time and keeping communication persistent but pleasant. Nurturing prospects is a common practice for smaller and bigger businesses. In fact, research does show that 74% of top performing companies use a lead nurturing strategy, and a big reason for that is that sales cycles can sometimes be anywhere from 18 to 24 months. So according to our 2017 Houzz and Home study, 59% of homeowners consider good communication and organisation a primary reason for selecting the professionals that they hire. And we do also know that the average planning cycle for homeowners is around 6 months. So if the homeowner isn't ready to make a decision yet, by implementing a nurture strategy, you can keep your business top of mind and help establish trust. So this can include approaches like adding prospects to your mailing list for any newsletters or announcements that you might make, sending periodic group emails with information about recent projects that you've completed or trends in your industry, anything that homeowners might find valuable, or inviting prospects to events or engagements where you might attend or exhibit or that you just think might be of interest to them. The goal with nurturing is to remind businesses about your, prospects about your business, services and expertise, increase awareness and educate them about your brand, and just provide value in a way that doesn't feel like a sales pitch. So studies show that on average prospects receive 8 to 10 touches from the time they are considered a qualified prospect to the time they have become a sold customer. So a touch is sort of any form of communication with the prospect, including newsletters and also meeting and up to sort of meeting them face to face. So key takeaways from today. So be reactive, persistent and pleasant for any leads and inquiries. Find your unique value proposition and create an elevator pitch, and follow an effective engagement strategy to keep your business top of mind. Now, as I said earlier, this webinar has been recorded. So if you missed anything during all of those notes, it's going to be sent to your email afterwards. So don't worry about that. You'll be able to watch it again later. Just the last item before we wrap up though, I just want to take a minute to just introduce our Power Package solution, which is an all-inclusive local marketing program that's available to all of our professionals. So it includes several terrific features that allow you to take full advantage of the Houzz platform, just going beyond what you would get from a free profile. So most importantly, it puts your business in front of homeowners who are in those key markets where you want to do business. So that includes the photo stream, the directory and project match feature. And we work with you to build your brand through our enhanced professional profile. And then we build your website where you can promote and showcase your business and projects. So we'll work with a single point of contact on your entire program so that you can be as efficient with your time as possible. So many of our pros find the Power Package to be a great strategy for them because it's designed to enhance your online presence. Since 97% of consumers look for local businesses online, we want to make it easy for you to use Houzz as a one-stop marketing team. If you're interested, please send an email to ausupport@houzz.com and you'll be able to find out more about local marketing strategies. But if you have any questions or any comments, please use the chat or questions feature on the right side of your screen. I'm going to stay online now for another 10 minutes to answer any of those questions, but I will be on mute. Also, would really love to get your feedback on this webinar topic and presentation. If you found it useful, is there any other information that you would have liked to hear? Or if you have any suggested topics for another webinar, please just send them through the chat feature. I'd love to see those. But that is all for today. So thank you again so much for joining us and look forward to seeing you at our next webinar.